Hi, this is Michael with Trade Edge Coding, and in this video I'll be explaining our tick indicators for Thinkorswim. The NYSE TICK index, or the TICKs, is the symbol $TICK. It's a measure of the number of stocks in the New York Stock Exchange that are making upticks minus the number of stocks that are making downticks. The ticks are a good way to see the overall intraday market sentiment, and they're great for trading symbols that track the overall market like SPY or index futures. For example, here I have the Dow futures on this chart. So this is a bundle of 3 indicators that analyze the tick index. It includes tick divergences, extreme tick alerts, and the cumulative tick indicator. Here on the subgraph is the chart for the ticks. And there are 3 lines above 0 here and 3 lines below 0. These are levels for alerts. So if we go into the indicator settings, you can change what these levels are with these 3 inputs here. And you can also change what symbol you use. So if you wanted to use something other than the New York Stock Exchange ticks. So for example, you could use the NASDAQ ticks, or you could use the Dow ticks, or the NASDAQ 100 ticks. So this will basically give you alerts when price reaches any of these levels. And when the ticks reach the most extreme levels, which are these top and bottom lines here, which are at plus or minus 1,000 in this case, it will give you an audio alert, and it will also display these white arrows here on the price chart. So when the ticks reach these extreme levels, you can interpret this as the market being overbought or oversold. This basically means the market has exhausted itself, so a reversal is likely. And you can customize these alerts. For example, you can change the level of the extreme limit. So now the ticks need to reach 1,100 instead of 1,000 in order to trigger this alert. And by default, it only shows the first extreme tick reading of the day in each direction, and it hides all the extreme tick readings after the first one. But if you go into the settings and change this first only input to no, then it will give you alerts for all extreme tick readings of the day, not just the first one. So now you can see there's an extra arrow here for the second time when the ticks reached 1,000. And if I turn this back on, it hides the arrow. So it only shows the first one of the day. So that's the extreme tick alerts, which are the white arrows. We also have TICK Divergences, which are the red and green arrows. So a divergence occurs when price is making lower lows while the ticks are making higher lows. That's a bullish divergence. So we have a green arrow here. And a bearish divergence occurs when price is making higher highs while the ticks are making lower highs. So there are a few ways to customize the calculations of divergences. If we go into the settings, you can see we have inputs for min bars between and max bars between. So these are the minimum and maximum number of bars between the peaks or valleys in divergences. So if I change this to 5, it means that they must be at least 5 bars apart. That filtered out a few of the divergences, so a few of the arrows disappeared. Another way to filter out divergences is with the minimum ticks. So if this required minimum ticks input is yes, it means the ticks must reach the minimum ticks, which we have set to 400 here. So if I change this to yes, it filters out a bunch of divergences. So now the ticks have to reach at least 400 at each peak or valley for a divergence to be considered. So here in this divergence, each peak is above 500, so they have met this threshold. And it's a good idea to change the settings on the lower indicator so that the trend lines for the divergences match the trend lines on the price chart. So if the required minimum ticks input is no, then the minimum ticks have no effect, and divergences can occur even if the ticks don't reach that threshold. Another way to customize the divergences is to change the divergence type to reverse. So I'll make the same change on the lower indicator real quick. So a reverse divergence, which is also called a hidden divergence, is basically the opposite of a regular divergence. So now the price has to make higher lows while the ticks are making lower lows for a bullish divergence. And for bearish divergence, the price makes lower highs while the ticks make higher highs. So the indicator gives you audio alerts whenever divergences occur, in addition to when ticks reach the extreme levels. And you can also change the colors of the ticks, so it can either be all gray or you can change it to be either green or red depending on whether it's up or down. So that's the basics of the extreme tick alerts and tick divergence indicators. And the last indicator that's included with this is the cumulative tick indicator, which basically adds the ticks throughout the day. So it removes the noise to give you a clearer picture of the overall trend in the ticks. It resets every day at the start of the day. So you can see here that the ticks start off the day spending most of the time above zero, so the cumulative tick just keeps rising. And then here the ticks start dropping below zero, so the cumulative tick starts dropping, but not enough to bring it below zero. Overall for the day, the cumulative ticks are above zero because the ticks are spending most of their time above zero. So this means there's more of a bullish sentiment in the market short term, so you can feel more confident taking these long trades here. That is the cumulative tick indicator. So this, the tick alerts, and the tick divergence indicators for Thinkorswim are all available at tradeedgecoding.com. If you have any questions about these, please let us know, and thanks for watching.